Oh, hello. I should say, like, you go on, you do your bit, and then I'll,
Are we definitely on?
Yeah, we look like we're on. Go on, I'll bong. Here we go.
It's not on.
Okay.
Disneyland Paris welcomes new executive.
Monopoly.
Wakanda forever.
Competition winners were invited to leave a legacy this week.
Hotel
Patience.
partnerships ended.
Bong. Sad bong.
Sad bong.
OBS updated. Bong. Sad bong.
You know that scene in Indiana Jones where he goes, "It's not my fault." Oh no, it's in Star Wars. It's Harrison Ford.
Nope.
It's not my fault. We have to point out, it's not my fault. The OBS wasn't connecting, wasn't it?
Right, well, can I tell you
refreshing.
something? You know, we had some problems 2 weeks ago. Hi, by the way, I'm back. We had some problems 2 weeks ago with everything not quite working as it should do. Yes. Basically, what happened was the software that we used to stream, OBS, did a massive update. And the massive update then wasn't compatible with any of the plugins that it uses. So the plugins got updated, and when we went live 2 weeks ago, everything was updated, but OBS wasn't working. They've since done patch after patch after patch, and it just seems to be continually not working. So I have to go back to the drawing board again this week and see if I can get things working again. But at the moment, this thing here that does all the screens,
Chris holds up some equipment,
isn't connecting to the streaming software. I can still do the sounds, but I can't do any of the screen changes.
I'll tell you what, OBS is 2/3 correctly named.
Yes, it is.
And hello to people who are just listening to this, and none of what we're saying probably matters, but viewers understand.
That's why we didn't have an intro.
Yeah, that's why we didn't have an intro going on, because things are going weird. Oh, yeah.
And I did a lude.
It was
You
excellent.
were a little loo.
I did a lude.
Hey there, hi there, ho there, Disney fans, and welcome to another Disneyland Paris Show. We are so glad to have you here on a Sunday night, and Chris, we are so glad to have you back on a Sunday night. We were floundering without you.
I'm happy to be back, but can I also say something? I'm really sorry for missing last week, and I don't know what you said, because I genuinely...
We said you were under the weather.
Right. I was hungover.
I thought, should we say that?
Well, I actually expanded a bit and said, and we don't really want to pass anything on, so, but you can't pass on a hangover.
You wouldn't have caught a hangover, no. The thing is, it was my uncle's 60th birthday, and I took a trip down to London with Laura, and I hadn't drunk for 6 weeks, and I now understand why I don't drink very often anymore, so... I probably won't drink for another 6 weeks at least. But because I feel guilty, I brought you a little gift. So the first gift that I brought was...
I forgot about this.
I know you knew about it. There you go. You can introduce it. Please do.
Chris has bought me something which combines two of my favourite things, which is the...
Three of your favourite things?
Yes, correct. 3 of my favourite things. So it's a bottle of hot sauce, which is mango flavoured, and it's hot sauce, and the name of it is the Bonnie Sauce Company. And Bonnie, of course, is our daughter.
Good, isn't it?
So it's 3 of my favourite things.
Lucy needs to back off the mic a bit. It's all right. I'll sort the sound off in a minute. Thanks.
Mango and habanero. I've been having so much hot sauce in the last few weeks that my sweats have started to smell really weird.
Oh, maybe it'll smell fruity as well now.
And other things. Yeah. So I'm going to have to cut back.
And then on top of that, I was running a tuck shop at the football today. It's been just a ridiculous couple of weeks. And somebody donated a box of popping candy, so I got us all some Fizz Whiz just to feel like kids again.
Fizz Whiz.
Super loud Fizz Whiz, in fact.
Speaking of super loud, Fix It Fox says Lucy's a bit.
I said that.
Yeah, we've started.
We're on it. I think we're clipping a bit, but you're not now.
Okay, cool.
I'm going to
Can you cope with
save
this?
this.
It's going to be too hot for you.
No, I'm going to save this to put on some kind of frozen treat, because that's what they do in Disney. They put it on top of sundaes, and it is so good on ice cream.
Well,
It pops inside the coolness. It's good.
Enjoy.
I like the packaging, the Fizz Whiz packaging.
I'd also like, if I can, before we get things started, just to apologise to anybody, but in particular the ones that won prizes on our live stream a few weeks ago, because I haven't had the opportunity yet to send them out. I have no excuse except for I just have not had time. It's been a busy couple of weeks in my wing. I know.
It's fine.
Everything's already. It's all packaged up. I just have to weigh it, price it, and take it to the post office this week, which will probably be on Tuesday or Thursday.
And I've got the mints that you can put in.
Fantastic.
Speaking
That's why I haven't sent them, because I hadn't got the mints yet.
Speaking of which, though,
Bob's mints.
Do we, maybe not to the exact penny, but do we have an exact total now? September's over, because we know how much we got from Patreon and advertising, and we know how much we've got from
other stuff as well.
Stuff.
Yeah, so I think did I say through Patreon and through the
AdSense.
advertising streams, super chats and things, I think there's about another £180, did I say?
Something like that, yeah.
Around
And I think we'd gone over 600
figure.
on Just Giving, hadn't we?
Yeah, we got another donation last week as well, so I think we're around 615, something like that. So we're going to be knocking on for nearly 800 quid, I think.
That's
wow.
Good work, people.
I'll try and sort out. Well, I'll get the money moved across to the thing, and then we'll be able to actually see what the actual result is. I just haven't had time.
That's for Dementia UK from a few weeks ago, if you're wondering.
And it makes me pleased and proud that we can do such a thing.
Charity
It was
stream.
so much fun and so fulfilling that I think that's going to be a yearly event, isn't it?
Well, I'd like it to be. I think we didn't say at the time, but it was our birthday as well. The DLP show birthday.
Anniversary, yeah.
Yeah, it was our 3rd year of doing DLP show. And our third and a half year.
On birthday.
3.5 year.
3.5 on birthday.
Anniversary of doing the other show. We had birthday parties the last 2 years on the classic show, you see, didn't we? Around June time. We didn't do that this year because we hadn't really been doing the classic show.
Oh.
So yeah, we might do something again next year.
Yay.
You never know. I want to make it a physical thing. I don't mean like punching,
like
and stuff,
mud
but
wrestling and stuff.
I think it'd be quite nice if we, rather than doing it in our humble little studio, we found a little place to do it and said, if you want to come along, you can do. You don't have to, but if you want to come along.
If only we were members of an arts group that had their own studio
But
theatre.
we are, though, Lucy. We are. They won't lend it to us, but we are.
Oh, well.
Should we see who's in the chat?
Let's. Who are they? All above, please. In the chat today, guys. First off in the chat was Krabbit Scruffs. So well done to you. Respect points.
I'd only actually posted the link about a minute before as well. That was super quick.
Krabbit Scruffs doesn't hang around. Daisy's here. Let's start with this one. Elle, Emma, Katia, Joanne. Joanne sent us a trip report, which we'll get to in the next week or two. She says it's very long. So yeah, we might edit it down, but there we go. Thank you for that, Joanne. Hope you enjoyed your trip. Claire's here. John, Wits Wanderlust, who's 6 days to go to Walt Disney World, and she's freaking out.
I'm freaking out, man.
Emma, we've got who is Nate, who I believe is also going to Disney World. That's right, isn't it? Magical by Sarah. I've been watching some of your videos today. Enjoyed your general snack videos. I like a snack video, so thanks for those. Caitlin's here. We've got Jimmy and Scottish Claire. The Dunn family. Another Claire. We've got 3 Claires, all the Claires. Stephen, Aaron, Fix It Fox. Susie's here. Susie's been pumpkin picking today. The same place we did. We missed you by a week, Susie. David, and that's everyone.
I think Stephen is making the live show for the first time from Lebanon.
Ooh, hello.
Hello,
Lebanon.
Stephen. Lovely to have you. We're going global.
We're getting there, aren't we?
Well, we've already kind of got listeners in Australia and America, haven't we? And I think we've got Dutch listeners as well. So it's nice in Lebanon. That's somewhere else to put our little pin in our map.
Hi, Pauline.
How exciting.
Pauline's here. First time in 3 weeks. She's back. And she ain't taking no flack.
Before we talk about drinks, can I have another disclaimer? Is that okay? One of the problems with OBS is that I'm not now recording this, which means I've got to wait for it to finish publishing on YouTube before we can put the podcast out. But it won't take as long as it took last week because the podcast only came out on Thursday, unfortunately, last week. I will get it out tomorrow at some point. I've just got to let it finish publishing first, that's all.
Chris, you need to be kinder to yourself.
I can't be kinder to myself. I'm self-brained. I've given myself a stomach ulcer. I'm not worried about it at all.
Oh, Christopher.
I'm not even lying.
Oh.
Have some fizz whiz.
But I've got a great story, by the way, for the Patreon listeners.
He's got something about a screw.
Mate,
I didn't understand the message.
It a bit by mentioning the screw, but
Well.
I've got a screw story. Also, one more disclaimer, and then I promise I'll stop with the disclaimers and we can just have a lot of fun. I wanted to do some trip reports today, but the camera that we normally use has had to be replaced by the camera that we don't normally use, which is my phone. And the trip reports are in my email account. And I'm trying to get them on this one now. If I can get them, then I can do them. If I can't, then I can't. And Crabbit Scruff's report, Joanne, well, we've had one of the reports that's come through today.
Yeah,
Joanne. Is going to get read next week anyway, because we've got a couple of others. We've got Aaron's and somebody else's as well to read through. So hopefully, when I shut up in a minute and I let Lucy here do news and stuff, the things that you're really tuning in for, I'll just frantically look on my phone and see if I can fix this and get these emails up.
Hey, some background information. Stephen is from Ireland, but he's just working in Lebanon. And Wits Wanderlust, we're not Dutch, but we live in the Netherlands.
Hey. It counts, people. It counts, and the pin is going in the map.
My mum's Australian, so what does that mean? My dad's from Batley.
Are they listening or watching?
I hope not.
In which case it means absolutely nothing.
Because I slagged him off a couple of weeks ago.
Should we see what we're talking about drinks-wise then?
Yes.
Ole, it's showtime. All together. Your tiki cup in your tiki cup. Well, you made yourself a beverage. I'll drink it up from your tiki cup.
We're having cordial. In fact, I offered Chris a choice of 3 cordials, and we're each having one. Lucy's got the cherries and berries, I've got the blackcurrant, and Chris has gone for a orange and pineapple.
I'm always orange and pineapple all the way.
Yeah. Right.
It's my spirit drink.
Disneyland Paris. It is, isn't it?
It really is.
Disneyland Paris. We're on it now. Good to know. It's taken us 13 minutes of a 60-minute podcast, but we're there.
It's what the people want. They want that stuff.
Right. Disneyland Paris welcomes a new executive. Now, I don't know a lot about this, so I'm going to give you the exact wording of the DLP Report Twitter thing. So I am giving shout out to DLP Report for the info. No, it's the English account. Oh, okay. We're all good. Disney executive Rod Russell has joined Disneyland Paris as the new Senior Vice President of Technology and Digital, now under the Global Disney Parks International banner. Amongst his previous roles, he was the head of US Guest Experience Technology, working on Magic Band, FastPass Plus, MaxPass, and more. Now, Twitter was then abuzz with speculation. What does that mean? Does it mean we're getting Magic Bands? Does it mean this? No, not necessarily. This is just a cabinet reshuffle, as it were. But if they are sort of prioritising this kind of hiring and getting someone who was instrumental in those things, it might mean that they're wanting to ramp up the technological capacity of the park, which I think is brilliant. Because, do you know what? Since we've started this podcast, they have got so much better. Like, we spent the first year just moaning about Line Bertie and how and that was it. That was all we had, was Line Bertie, basically. But now they're slowly getting other things, and as much as we don't like to pay for Premier Access Pass, the fact that they've got it and that you can pay it online is it's going
to be very expensive in the not too distant future as well, isn't it? I think, isn't this period the most expensive it's been so far?
Yeah, so it's 'cause it's dynamic pricing, isn't it? What you got there, Chris?
I'm going in.
He's opening the Fizz Whiz.
Going in with popping candy.
Super loud.
You have to stop for me.
Are you gonna
carry on?
Lift your tongue to the microphone so we can hear it pop?
I'm gonna wait till I've got something really important to say and then put it in my mouth.
So I don't think as fans we can glean any specifics from this other than the management is prioritising guest experience technology, which can only be a good thing. It probably means they're going to find new ways. Of taking our money, basically. But if it makes things run, they're going to find that anyway. And if they can smoothly take my money rather than clunkily take my money, all the better.
Someone asked us on Twitter if cash was still acceptable in the parks.
Can you guys hear that? That is so loud next to me.
It's super loud.
Yes, someone was asking about cash. Cash is... I still use half and half cash, half Revolut card. So, yeah, still a thing, cash.
Oh, no, ASMR.
It's nearly finished now.
John
the
says,
worst thing about this stuff is that it stays in your ears for ages.
John says, no, not the ASMR. I hate ASMR. I hate anything like that. and more adverts are using it, and I hate it so much. But it's become a thing now, and like advertisers are thinking, oh, this is great, we'll put more of that in, more sound effects. I can't bear it.
I was going to get one of those omnidirectional microphones. Should we not do that then? I thought
so you can hear every
one, just
swallow
it here.
Through the last 20 years of being with Hugh, I've actually trained myself to eat quieter because he gets so upset about it. And sometimes I'll just eat in a different room if I'm eating something particularly noisy food. He hates it.
She's getting there. I'm getting there.
I mean, you can't be utterly silent, but I'm doing my best. I mean, that's love for you. Anyway.
I really enjoyed that. I feel very playful today.
I'm gonna have mine.
Tell I had a week off, can't you?
Oh no!
I'll have mine in a bit.
I'm gonna feel really pressure to have mine in a bit, and I was really looking forward to putting it on some kind of whip. Anyway,
hello also to Kelfi, and there was another, and Diogo.
I've sorted the emails out. It was Harrison James is the other trip report I'm going to read out.
Fabulous. Right, I am excited about the next one. I'm excited. Monopoly. They've developed a Disneyland Paris Monopoly set. Now, you don't like board games. Could you get down with the game?
I'm not coming off well in this show so far. I don't like the sound of you eating. I won't play board games with you.
I won't get into the situation with the neighbours.
Oh, you must be grumpy.
I was just waiting for another opportunity to play that because Fix It Fox threw that in the chat a minute ago.
Oh yeah. In Lucy's vlogs, I'm different than I am in my own videos. I'm more miserable in your videos. So I just don't think I come across well at all.
I tend to not warn him and then just turn the camera and go, what do you think of this?
Or sometimes
his first thought is usually,
but sometimes I'll say something and then you'll go, and you'll stop me halfway through me saying it and you'll go, hang on. And then you get your camera out and I go...
You're a very good moaner, though. You're a very good moaner. You get right to the root of the problem and you're amusing when you moan.
Yes, but what I will say about Hugh is that he does tend to find a silver lining in things as well. And so if you're catching him in the... you do come round to things. You definitely do. You find the positives.
Wow.
You'll dwell on the negatives, without a doubt, but you will find the odd positive. Probably just to highlight the negatives a little bit more.
No, I'm just a high-functioning moaner. I add the positive, but I don't mean it. But Louis Nate says it's endearing, Hugh.
It's something.
Thanks.
All right. You're a spectacular moaner, and I love it as it's an honest review.
Spectacular moaner.
I think you have to because I walk around Disney going, oh, it's all so amazing and perfect, and I love it. So it kind of needs you to keep it real.
We balance each other out.
We do. It's like a little bit of salt with your tequila, isn't it?
Fire and ice.
But Monopoly, the problem with Monopoly is...
Monopoly.
As games go, Monopoly is the worst.
It's not a good game.
It's not a good game. It's not an entertaining game. There's no real skill involved in it.
Big Thunder Mountain. I mean, that's slightly thrilling.
It looks pretty, but I'd never get it out. We must have 5 or 6 different sets of Monopoly. Just because we've seen them over the years and the boys have wanted them or whatever. And we never play any of them. Because anytime you play them, what happens when you play Monopoly? You fight.
Fit It Fox, I have answers to that on my notes. Yes, you can have it by December because it's set to release on the 19th of October for annual pass holders and the 20th of October for everybody else. So that's like next week. That's 10 days away. It's going to be released in 10 days.
And it being Monopoly, there'll be a lot of them. They'll have Monopoly on them. And do you reckon they'll end up in the Disney store, in the Disneyland Paris bits?
Yeah, I imagine it will end up on Shop Disney. I don't think you're going to have to go all the way to Disneyland Paris.
If things like the Phantom Manor book and the Space Mountain book make it on there, even for short periods of time, I think it'll be on there.
I need to have another little look on that section because they do have good stuff and they've got spirit jerseys and such, haven't they?
Aaron's just naming board games now.
Well, right, okay.
Willy-nilly. Game of Life.
DLP Game of Life.
I want Disneyland Paris.
Ticket to Ride would be the one, wouldn't it?
Hungry Hippos.
Have the train. Like, maybe. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know enough about board games to care.
Cluedo. That's a good one.
I'd like
Disneyland Paris Cluedo would be good.
Like the theme park tycoon type computer games as a board game could be quite fun. But you need a lot of space, wouldn't you? Because you want to actually build the things.
Building like you used to build Mousetrap, that kind of building.
That's a really disappointing game as well, isn't it, Mousetrap?
We just used to
all you want is a whole thing set up to push it. Because no one actually wants to roll the dice and move the mouse.
I've never played it. No,
I've
only built it.
We had it round my
Turn the
friend's
crank.
house, and we literally just got it out and built the mousetrap. We never played the game.
That grape one always looked like more fun. What was that one called? Where you had plasticine grapes and they moved around, and it was a similar sort of concept, and then they got squashed. That was quite cool. The best game as a kid was always that haunted house one where you try
Oh,
to sculpt down the stairs.
yeah.
I don't think I know that one.
Oh, my grandma had it.
It's great.
Are we getting off subject again?
Of course we are.
It would be an interesting discussion
what we do.
if we were saying
That'd be a Phantom Manor
how
game.
would
There
you
go.
make would you make them Disneyland Paris games? There you go. You've got the answer to that one. Very good. I'm still trying to get Hungry Hippos to work, maybe with Skulls and Pirates of the Caribbean and something.
It's a small world Skittles. So you just have lots of the little things in a ball, and you have to knock them over.
Screwballs scramble
It's a
through
small world.
Pirates of the
Guess who?
Caribbean.
But you could do the Hungry Hippos in it's small as well, because there's a hippo in it's small. You could just
There
use
is.
that hippo.
Emma says, has anyone played the Disney Villains board game?
I've got the Marvel one. Villainous. I've got the Marvel one, and we were going to give it away as a prize. I think I mentioned it about 20 times, and then when it came to actually doing it on the day, Lucas said, "You can't give that away. That's mine." And we tried playing it, and he hated it. But at the time, he didn't know Marvel, and now he's back to being interested in it. So we may give it a go.
Hold the phone. Aaron's won. Do you want to know what he said? Indiana Jones Screwball Scramble.
Well, I said Screwball Scramble, Pirates of the Caribbean, but no one was
Oh,
listening.
did you? Oh, sorry. Oh.
So which is better?
Indiana Jones.
All right, Aaron wins.
It's that Aztec
It's
feel,
got
isn't
the
it?
it's got the wobbly bridges and stuff.
Oh,
Right.
did you ever play that Crystal Maze board game? Just thinking of Aztec.
No.
That was it was awful.
Oh,
That's all. I've got a copy of it at home. It's awful.
a copy
Okay.
Yeah.
of it. Copy of it.
Wakanda Forever. So, the New York Comic Con's gone on, and Marvel have announced that they're going to do a little bit of synergy with the release of the new Black Panther Wakanda Forever with the Disney parks that are allowed to do it. Remember that Disney World isn't allowed to do certain Marvel things. But it does mean, confirmed, that Disneyland Paris will be taking parts. There's going to be Black Panther Wakanda Forever themed events, meet and greets and such. I suspect they're going to do a Black Panther shaped Nutella filled shortbread. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shortbread.
Beyond that, and also the keeping up with the changes in character art. So whoever the new Huey, you're not as noisy as Chris. Is your saliva not as?
I've only put a little bit in.
I chucked it all in. All or nothing, baby.
Whoever the new Black Panther turns out to be, I presume that they're going to update the meat accordingly. So,
Mousetrap, by the way, Ratatouille.
of course,
Ratatouille Mousetrap. There
it
you go.
still doesn't make it a good game, but the
David
theme
Wilson
works.
said
The theme
DLP
works.
Double would be an easy game. I was playing Double with the kids before I stepped over to the other wing of Disney Street tonight. Played Harry Potter Double and Original Double.
We have a set of double cards, and we never actually played them. You know, when kids
It's a
invent.
ridiculously easy game.
Look at this. Magical by Sarah says Glotinis have gone.
No.
Just saying.
Gone where?
Telling you.
I never had one
popping
as well.
sounds.
You never got. I thought
It's been on my
got round to it.
It's been on my bucket list for literally 5 years since the 25th anniversary when they were having them all blue and gorgeous. And I was like, I want one of those. And we never just would. I don't drink either, so I would have drunk for that, like just as a novelty thing. But it was never like I was never in a situation. We're never sitting in bars and stuff where they sell them.
It's a bit loose, isn't it? They'll come back, won't they? Let's be honest. They're going to come back, aren't they?
They will.
They're too popular.
It'll be supply chain, some things, won't it? I reckon.
No call.
Right. Okay. I'm not 100%. I think I've missed a beat in this. If somebody wants to. Do you know what?
What? What? I look
I
you look
watch-
at me like I've just done something. What have I done?
No, not at all. I watch a history YouTuber who's a history teacher, and he's called Mr. Beat. And I just thought that was his teacher name, and his surname was Beat. And I've only just said it out loud and realised that's what it is. It's Mr. Beat. Oh, that's so much cleverer than I thought it was.
Oh yeah.
You've watched Mr. Beat, haven't you?
I miss Mr. Beat. Do you know? I didn't realise Mrs. Crabapple was Crabapple till I was about 32.
I was 40 because I have just realised that.
It's good, isn't it?
This is what I have to live with, guys.
Okay, get back on the theme. I think I've missed a beat here somewhere because this week there was a Leave a Legacy event. Competition winners were invited to the Leave a Legacy event. And in that Leave a Legacy event, messages were recorded and then downloaded into the Quinjet. And then the competition winners got to go to this special after hours event. However, I'm not sure what the competition was or what the messages were or why they're in the Quinjet. So I've missed all that. I can tell you all about the event. They all got button badges. They had an open house at the Pimp Kitchen where they had a chef telling them all about the different recipes. They were invited to go and look around the training centre when it wasn't in operation, look at all the Easter eggs and things. Spider-Man descended from on high holding a case that had all the digital messages in. And then before they went home, they were given lithographs, and it sounds good. But I'm like...
Is it not just like a modern-day time capsule?
I think it is.
I think that's what it is.
But who are the messages from and what's it about and where was the competition and why don't I know about this?
And will any of it matter when the world has burnt to a crisp in millions of years?
Are you not going to grumpy that one, Chris? Come on.
That's not grumpy. That's shit.
Oh, you must be
dystopian.
Very good.
Oh dear.
Where are we? What's going on?
It looked good though. I would have gone. Well,
You were invited.
Ooh, Sarah had a Halloween matcha cocktail.
Ooh.
In the Skyline. Just saying.
And she'll agree that one wasn't great. Just for anyone else who's thinking of ordering the matcha cocktail, it does not come Sarah approved.
And sorry, I missed that bit. It wasn't great.
Your one from Pim Kitchen was alright, wasn't it?
It was a mocktail though.
That was a mocktail.
Oh,
That's what
mocktail.
we're talking about. Mocktails.
Oh, matcha mocktail. Sorry, I read cocktail.
Do you know what? They're reading stuff out from this chat, but they're reading it wrong.
I'm sorry. Yeah, the one in Pim Kitchen
You're grumpy now.
was it was good. It was good. It was fruity. It was novel, but I
Don't
kind of
break it.
like stuff like that. And since being a pretty much non-drinker, I have got very into mocktails. I like a good adventurous drink. I particularly like a virgin colada.
We've been drinking the frozen slushy cocktails. Well, I eat them. I don't let them melt. I just eat them with a spoon. But Lucy didn't realise until she'd had a couple, maybe even 3, that they are alcoholic.
We had some on the show.
They're very alcopoppy though. If they are
Yeah.
alcoholic,
No, they don't
they're not giving you a kick.
You feel it after a couple, maybe, but not really.
Made me pretty fresh when we had them on the show.
Did it?
Yeah.
So fresh
That
and
was
so
when
clean.
That was the infamous night when you drank.
When I had a glass of wine for no
And she
reason.
said, yeah, ooh, I like wine. That night.
That's the one.
Yeah, it was going to be our third T-shirt design.
Oh, good grief. Right. I'm feeling off the rails from the minute we started today.
Well, do you
Right.
know
We keep
what?
dragging it back.
I felt so not Disney for the last couple of weeks that I kind of needed this. So I
Okay.
don't care if it's off the rails. To be honest with you, I just needed to be with some friends and just have a bit of a laugh and
Yay!
let my hair down because it's been very stressful for me. So I'm liking how disorganised this is today.
Off the rails.
Hotel partnerships end.
Oh, can
Yeah.
we talk about that?
Yeah.
Excellent.
Talk about it.
But
So this
might be
is,
a bit of a rant if I do talk about it.
This is. I mean, are they called the same in Paris? Are they still called good neighbor hotels?
No, I think they're called partner. Talk without me.
I don't,
I don't know.
all right, they were called partner places.
I call them good neighbour hotels because I'm just familiar with the term. I have a feeling they're just called our partner hotels or something like that. I don't think they've got a catchy name.
No.
But basically, for if people don't know what we're on about, Radisson Blu, Dream Castle Hotel, and the Grand Magic Hotel that used to be Magic Circus. That's
Did
been
it? It
renamed.
used to be Magic Circus.
Chris is referencing a guy in a Facebook chat who was just
I
like
want to talk about
really
it.
pedantic about it, wasn't he? He was like,
that's for
I might talk
after
about it.
hours.
I might
That's
talk about
for
this
extra
after
magic
hours.
time. If you want to know what's got Chris like breathing heavily down your
Literally
microphone,
making my
you
blood
need
boil.
to become a Patreon and listen to his after hours rant. we get really bitchy after in the extra magic time because we kind of know it's not public, so we can talk about things.
Fix It Fox says, can we have a T-shirt design that says Nicolas Cage on it? Please, Hugh, can you do that? Please.
With me gurning next to it.
Yeah. Lucy, do your impression of Nicolas Cage.
Nicolas Cage.
Nicolas Cage.
That's it.
Nicolas Cage.
Okay. Bringing it back.
good.
Yeah. So those 3 hotels that I've just mentioned are no longer partner hotels of Disneyland Paris. They can therefore no longer be booked via the DLP website and no longer offer the shopping service or the Disney Express. Now, the reason will be there'll be some financial arrangement where they pay a certain amount and Disney will have been negotiating and it will have fallen through and they don't anymore. The thing is, the experience you get, the shopping delivery thing, if you use it, all right, that's a problem. We didn't use it. The Disney Express, is this the actual shuttle that takes you to the
park?
The park?
Yeah,
I guess so.
There's a shuttle bus that goes around all of the partner hotels.
And is that the Disney Express?
Yeah.
That's...
No, yes, I think it is. Yeah, I think it is.
Well, that's what
I read and understood from those messages was that
because
that
the one
service
from
will
the
stop.
airport is the magical
Doodad, the magical doodad.
Magical-
We're doing really well
okay,
today.
Magical shuttle or something.
Too
Magical
much
Express.
magic bus.
But the thing
Every
is,
day I
that's
get the
really
key.
bad because I was gonna say just
On
book.
the bus brings me
just
to
book
you.
it on-
Too much magic bus.
Chris is high on this fizz whiz.
No, it's
He
like
is.
kids after skills.
He's gone crazy.
My first thought was no biggie, just book it on Expedia. It'll probably be cheaper. However, you won't get your ticket deals, will you? That was the first thing. Shopping service, but if they take away that shuttle, that's really kneecapping those hotels. I mean, they're going to have to produce their own. They're going to have to club together and run their own, basically, because
That's the...
it's not Uber. It's a really inconvenient distance where you wouldn't want to be paying for an Uber and taking up loads of traffic on the roads because it's only 5 minutes down the road.
We paid
But
for
you
a
also
taxi.
you can't really walk there because it's not pedestrianised. So it's just kneecapping them. You paid for a taxi,
paid
but
for a
you
taxi
did
for
it
one night
first
we
thing in
stayed
the
at Magic
morning
Circus.
with
I mean,
suitcases.
Yeah, what's it called? That
Grand
hotel?
Magic
Thank you.
Hotel.
Yeah, sorry, I'm sorry.
But you
Silly
had
mistake.
you were changing hotels. You had suitcases, and it was very first thing in the morning,
Yes, it
like
was.
6
And
a.m.
we wanted to get checked into the into Sequoia Lodge so we could get in for EMT or as near, or at least make use of some of it. So yeah.
Jill
mate.
Johnson is saying Magic Shuttle still going to Magic Castle, and there is still a shuttle bus. Guess where we are going in 3 days?
Sainsbury's.
Thing is, I mean, there's people who've booked up to a year out, and I'm struggling to see how they can take away a service quite like that. And I don't think it'll be gone in 3 days. By the way,
This is what a lot of the chat pages are saying on Facebook, that people have already booked these things. The bookings that are already there should still be honoured. They're just not offering the deals anymore, I guess.
Well, David says if you go to the Grand Magic website now, there's a pop-up straight away to tell you there is still a shuttle.
all right, they're running their own.
So
In which case, fine, don't pay Disney the money. But I mean, it's tough, isn't it? Because that's
like a really strange
advertising.
move, though, doesn't it? Overall, it seems like why would you do that when their own hotels are like filled to the rafters pretty much all the time anyway? It seems like another way to get people in. So why would you? I just don't get it. Why?
So the pop-up here, as soon as you go onto the website, it says shuttle information. We inform you that the hotel has free shuttles service for the Disney parks every day between 8 a.m. and 11 p.m.
Good, so they do.
So, yeah.
And they've
But-
obviously felt the need to get that on there.
I mean,
Well, yeah.
what worries me more
Thanks, David.
is that worries me on behalf of those hotels is they're not going to be advertised. I mean, if you book into someone like Magic Breaks, Thomas Cook, and all those kind of things, they will still have these kind of hotels in their brochures, won't they? They will.
Jill says, if not, €9 each way for an Uber.
That's
That's
true.
still cheaper than your Premier Access if you want to do a single ride.
That's true, and it's annoying, and it's a bit more money. But the thing is, I don't like the idea of however many families can stay in those 3 massive hotels. Ubering every day. I think that's just terrible for the environment, the traffic, and just everything. Basically, but they're saying they're still running shuttles.
And if the hotels
so
are now
fine.
running their own shuttles, then that implies costs will probably go up as well, doesn't it? So, well, let's watch this space, shall we, and see what happens next. It's going to be a roller coaster.
Oh, Disney. They don't like other people to eat crumbs, do they? You know what I mean? There's this thing with,
I blame that new guy.
Etsy. With the rise of Etsy came the rise of like handmade T-shirts and ears and all these various different things where you could personalize things, and people were coming up with really quirky little sayings to put on their T-shirts. And in response to that, and this is a few years ago now, but this was referenced in like an earnings call or something. Disney put an entire department on making their own Etsy style T-shirts so that they could sell them for $45 a pop. And the thing is, Etsy is run by independent people in the living room just trying to make a living. And it's fine. Just buy them where you want to buy them, and you be ethical shoppers. And if you want to buy them from Etsy, I recommend you do that, and that's great. But it just shows, they look around and they go, there's people eating crumbs off our table. We can't have it. We need those crumbs. And it always feels icky.
It's crazy though, isn't it? Because every single thing like that is advertising for them anyway. It benefits them in the long run. And the more open to that they are, the more people would appreciate Disney as a brand in general. So it just seems crazy to me.
Wasn't there some kind of pop-up shop that was doing Disney bounding clothing? Can you remember that? Something like
in the
that.
village?
I can't remember where it was. It might have been in the States. I'm not sure. But it's like, that's not the point. The point is you go out and you find them in charity shops or thrift stores. Yeah. And you don't just buy them from a shop that's got like rows of coloured T-shirts.
Yeah,
it is a bit strange.
But they just try to get on any little bit they can. Anyway, this isn't even stopping people getting crumbs off the table. It's actually shoving people off the table, this, isn't it?
'Tis somewhat.
And we recommend these hotels. We've never stayed in Radisson, but we recommend, the other two are run by the same company, and we've both stayed in Magic Circus, that is now Grand Magic. Stay tuned for Chris's rant.
Grand Magic.
And we recommend them. So we're advertising them right here, right now. But no, it's a bit of a funny move. There'll be money involved though.
No, not money. Surely not.
Oh well, that's the end of my news, people. So you have trip people, don't you?
I do, yeah. I can play the jingle. I haven't done this for a while, have I?
Ooh.
Audience Trip Roundup.
Well, we've got 2 audience trip roundups today. But before I show that, I just wanted to very quickly show Mark Chester has already had part of his prize from the charity do, because he won some coasters from Bob, and I just wanted to hold them up to show you the picture, which you can't see because it's not going to work. Let's have a look. Come on.
There you go.
There we go.
Look at that. It's all a bit blurry, but you can get an idea. So that's his 6 coasters that he won.
Beauty and the Beast coasters?
Yeah.
Are they all Beauty and the Beast?
They are, yeah. I think he
good.
said it's me Julie's favourite Disney film. so
Me Julie.
So that's why, yeah. And I've put the phone down now, but I still need to read. Oh, we're getting some more popping candy now. Excellent. So I have a couple of trip reports today. I know, by the way, that there are others that probably go back ages, and I'm really sorry. I feel like the time's passed at the moment, and I will try and go back through and see which ones I haven't done. I've tried to mark them off.
So one of them's for the 25th anniversary.
One of them's for the opening day. It's been that long. So first off, I've got a trip report from Aaron. And Aaron says, "Hey everyone, I had an absolutely amazing time singing at Disneyland Paris last weekend and wanted to share a trip report. This trip was with the choir I sing in, so a lot of our time was spent in workshops with Disney Performing Arts and performing on the Videopolis stage." I haven't read this. I'm reading this fresh. But it's 2 weeks old, so not that fresh.
That sounds wonderful.
Doesn't it? I felt... I always thought it looked really interesting. The first time we went, there was like a little dance troupe doing stuff there. I just think, what a great idea, getting everybody on stage and stuff. Quite cool. Also, this is a bit of a lengthy one. Sorry, I'm getting distracted because they're pointing at stuff over
We're passing notes.
Yeah.
Not in my class. Also, this is a bit of a lengthy one, so apologies in advance. Now then, just a quick disclaimer. They're always lengthy ones. Everyone always sends us lengthy ones. And I never have the time to cut them down. So if you get bored of listening to me talk, when it's your turn, write a short one. But I'm still going to read them all. We left Manchester Airport early morning on Friday, 11th of probably February or something. So, hang on. Oh, no, I only sent it on Sunday, so it'd be last month.
All right.
Our plane was delayed by about 30 minutes due to heavy fog, but we got to Charles de Gaulle in time for our transfer and arrived in Sequoia Lodge around 1:30. The staff were very friendly and got us checked in very quickly, and then we dropped our luggage off in the storage room. We were in the parks by about 2:15, and after a couple of photos, I headed straight to Pirates. Good choice.
Good going.
It's a family tradition to go on Small World first, same.
Yeah, us too.
But since that's closed, I had to make do with the closest. Do you know what? Our first ever ride in the Disneyland park was Pirates. So that's my favourite to go to first, even though I always think we go on Small World first. We don't. I had to make it the closest boat ride with an annoying catchy song. It'll do. The app said the queue was around 25 minutes, which I'd usually never do for Pirates as it can be much shorter, but I did this time. After about 15 minutes, the work lights came on, then the announcement that it was being evacuated, and my hopes of keeping up the tradition crumbled. This is someone who's been evacuated on Pirates of the Caribbean and got to perform on the Videopolis stage in one visit. That's pretty cool. Okay, maybe that was a little dramatic. I was a bit disappointed, and Pirates didn't open again till the evening, so I wandered Main Street, got to the White Chocolate.
So I wandered Main Street crying. Why?
Got to the White Chocolate and Raspberry 30th anniversary cookie, then went to meet the rest of my choir who was just arriving at the train station. Once everyone was sorted and bags dropped off, I headed back to the park and happened to get a great spot at the plaza to watch Dream and Shine Brighter. I'm sorry, I'm really bunged up.
When you said they arrived at the train station, I imagine them all like coming down from like they were somehow on the train that goes around the park.
I don't think it was that one.
No, okay. I'm not sure where they would have got on, but yeah.
I didn't watch most of this last time, and now I really regret it. It's such an awesome show. All the characters were super interactive with the people watching, and the music's great. Ready for the Ride is possibly the most catchy song ever. I walked over to Phantom Manor afterwards, and people were still singing it. I walked through the gates to Phantom Manor, looked to my left, and Pluto was there meeting in his Phantom Manor costume with a very small queue, so of course I had to run round there and meet him. He was super fun to meet. Even as a 22-year-old walking around DLP, mostly on my own, there's something so magical about meeting your favourite characters, and the cast members are always brilliant. I headed over to the Avengers campus after this, and we had a dinner reservation at Pym Kitchen. Captain America, Sam Wilson, was stood by the Quinjet as we entered, and the Guardians of the Galaxy dance show was on with Star-Lord and Gamora. My nose is literally closing up as I speak.
What's happening to you?
I'm just full of cold.
Are you becoming ill? Oh, you were already ill.
I'm full of cold, but you know when you've got a cold, as the night wears on, your nose becomes more and more bunged
It's always
up,
worse
so
at night.
It's just that it's after 9 o'clock and it's just setting in for the night. The campus feels super welcoming and comfortable and draws you to explore. I was really, really impressed with all the detail they put in. I really hope they keep building on this with new areas of the studios. If they do, it'll become a really magical place to go, and it shows the rest of the studios up. It all feels even more dead than before once you've been into the campus. We loved it in there, didn't we?
Yeah, and it is small and welcoming, and you want to sort of look around it. But both people said, "Oh, it's claustrophobic, and it should be bigger and grander." I like it small. I like it.
The queue for Flight Force was around 20 minutes, so we headed there first. The queue itself was the best part, theming wise. Agreed. The Iron Man animatronic in the pre-show was super cool, moves really realistically, and had me in absolute awe. I went into this with my expectations at rock bottom after hearing our reviews.
Well, let's find out.
General consensus with the group I was with was 1, it was very dark. 2, the screens looked awful.
Yeah.
3, the track itself is brilliant, and we didn't agree that it felt rough at all. Side note, Rock and Roller Coaster was my all-time favourite coaster, so maybe I'm biased. 4, the soundtrack and the ride was lackluster. I hope the rumours that they're closing the ride to improve it are true, because it really needs it.
Yeah.
We all still enjoyed it, and I would go on it again, but mostly for the track. I'd agree with that.
That's what we said.
As a non-roller coaster person, I would go back on it quite happily.
That's what we said as we came
I
off.
wouldn't go back on for the track. I'm a theming person, and I know as coasters go, it's a good track, but It just cues and baby swap. I know she's not a baby anymore, but she won't be going on it. I'd be like, Hugh, go fill your boots. I'm not bothered.
Yay!
It's just that bit for me when you shoot off at the start and you're going up and you just keep going until you've gone over. That for me, because I'd never done any inversions before, it was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. So I automatically, I came out smiling. You guys were like, well, that was a bit naff, and I did think it was naff because it was dark and the screens you couldn't even see the screens and get what was going on at all.
Yeah.
But Emma Sylvester has summed it up. She said, I enjoyed Flight Force until I went on Hyperspace Mountain again and realised how good it could have been.
I wish I'd been on Hyperspace Mountain.
Yep.
Okay. We then headed to Tower of Terror as it was nearby and had a short enough time to still make our dinner reservation. That one will always be a favourite and the cast are brilliant every time. Pim Kitchen was very nice and I'd definitely book again if other people I was with wanted to go. The staff checked allergies beforehand and told us what was off limits per person. Just the mango from the fruit salad for me. Mango whip is forbidden.
Really?
Aaron, I'm so sorry. Aaron.
That's interesting.
Some of the food was hit and miss, but even as a very picky eater, I found plenty that I enjoyed. The desserts were delicious, especially the pear crumble paired with the blue custard, and we tried a bit of each. I did take your warning about the raspberry coulis and put only a small amount onto my dessert. That's what I wanted to do as well, Lucy. Keep pouring it, I'm filming.
It's for video.
It was content.
It's for video.
Content. It's
Hugh,
all
what do you
content.
think of this?
It's all content.
We headed back to the main park after dinner and just about caught the drone show from the end of the Main Street, then walked down Liberty Arcade to watch the Illuminations. I've watched Illuminations a couple of times now, but this was the first time I caught the Disney Delight. It was too windy last time, and it was very impressive and had me crying just a little. Once the show had finished, we remembered that the Avengers Campus was open for another hour, so we headed over to do Web Adventure. That's a lot of back and forth, isn't it?
It's a small...
Strong legs.
Yeah.
It's a small world after all.
I was going to say it's a small park though, but no, they've been back to the park now, haven't they? Yeah, that is, yeah.
Mind you, when I'm doing it, I've got 2 little kids in tow, so that does feel like a long way with them.
We've tramped a few times, haven't we? But we've always regretted it because it's an empty 20 minutes.
Yeah.
You know, and there's other things you can do. Anyway.
Headed over to do Web Adventure, he said. I didn't know what to expect with this one, but I loved every minute. That first thwip of my wrist got me so excited. I totally agree with you. I was pleasantly surprised at how accurate you could be with the webs, and the 3D effects worked super well. I did come out with very achy elbows, to the point where my inner elbows were bruised, so maybe try a little bit too hard to be Spider-Man, but it was 100% worth it.
It messed my wrists up for a week. I ended up going for an X-ray.
Well, you had...
I'd already
an existing issue.
I had an existing issue, but I was just kind of putting up with it. And then after that, I thought I can't put up with this anymore, and I had to go to the doctors and book an X-ray. But that really just finished me off doing that.
Did you pull a face when they said about how accurate they were? Because if you did, I thought they're good to a degree, but then they do seem to go in like one of a certain number of directions. It felt like.
I don't know. I scored a really high score, so it seemed to work quite well for me.
Well, I didn't score a high score because I was really slowly, like at first, seeing where they went and going, "Oh, this is good," and then I realised, "Oh, we're competing against each other." Well,
because I was messing my wrists up.
I did get into trouble with Laura the second time we went on because just thinking of these 3D effects working well, because I kept saying, "Boy, you don't need to do anything in this, but you just have to wait till we get to the next screen." And Laura was like, "It's not a screen."
No,
screen.
no. Don't say that word.
We started off the next day with breakfast at around 7:30 at the Sequoia Lodge. It was delicious and set us up for a really cool day. I used my EMT for Phantom Manor, and the cast really kicked it up a notch with telling stories about I can't even say it. About Mummy Ravenswood before the pre-show. I think because they're less busy in the mornings, they can spend a bit more time developing characters, etc.
Yeah, they haven't had their souls destroyed by punters yet.
After that, I went to meet the rest of the choir in the Disney Village and spent the morning in a workshop with some of the staff from Disney Performing Arts. This was mostly focusing on performance and storytelling through movement, and really helped us bond as a group. Being from many different locations across London and one in Manchester, a lot of us didn't know each other super well, but we always come together great for these workshops and performances. It's so cool to be able to get a backstage look at how their performances work, and always a privilege to work with them. You should try and get your dance school doing that.
Yeah, honestly, it's there's loads of companies that take dance schools and things to go and perform, and I've considered it, but I don't want to mix work and pleasure.
Don't want the responsibility.
'Cause I don't think I would enjoy it. I don't think I would enjoy being responsible for all those kids and the rehearsals. True. And it's my happy place. I don't need to take my students there. Sorry, students. I love you.
Oh, students.
I know.
Once the workshop was over,
I love you, but only during work hours.
Yeah, exactly. Between the hours of 3 and 9, I love you to bits.
Once the workshop was over, I headed to Hotel New York for a pin trading event. Oh, you told us you were going to the pin trading event the other week. Mm-hmm. I'd forgotten about that. I was a little late to check in, but someone checked me into the side and gave me everything I needed. Inside the event was very overwhelming. I didn't get a good look at the food on offer, but did pick up one of the 30th anniversary cakes and a couple of macarons, which were both delicious. The seating layout was a big round table. I'm just laughing at macarons because you get very frustrated when people call them macaroons. I'm sorry. The seating layout was big round tables similar to at a wedding, which made it very difficult to find a seat that wasn't surrounded by a group of people. Very few people spoke English, which I was expecting, but what really shocked me was how serious everyone was about their pins.
Yeah.
Most people had them in their display packaging, and nobody considered trades without that, which I personally don't see the point in. Surely you're not enjoying your pins if they stay like that. I went to the public trading boards. One was for limited edition pins only and the other for any others. I picked out a Phantom Manor themed pin and offered a handful of my traders for the cast members to choose from for the board. She pointed at one of them and said, "That's not going on the board. We only put good ones on here."
Oh my goodness. This is
time and time again this happens.
I am not down with this. If you go to Walt Disney World, get a load of pins off eBay, trade them, you're gonna have a brilliant time. Just don't do that at Disneyland Paris. You have to go on with, like, I imagine, you know, those adjustable things that jewelers use.
They make you feel dirty, don't they? They look at it and they go, no.
It's like, did you use that analogy that it's like Pretty Woman when she goes into those designer shops?
Yes, yeah. So you go back with your best pins and you're like, I can trade here.
But I'm not going to.
Yeah.
I need to get that limited edition Disneyland one that I swapped to like a Stormtrooper egg for this like amazing limited edition thing. I need to go on and show that.
Stormtrooper egg.
Yeah.
yeah. Rubbish.
It was like
that's like the bottom of the barrel. It
was the most lopsided trade you've ever seen in your life. And at Walt Disney World, no one cares. They just give you the pin.
Was that the one that they just put out?
Yeah.
She just put it out, and you were like, is that for trading? What was it? Encanto?
No, it was a Disneyland anniversary.
But it was
like massive and it had moving bits on it.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Go on.
Which shocked me a bit.
Yes.
I don't know if it was a language issue and she just didn't know the words in English to make it sound more polite, but it came across really rude and condescending and really discouraged me. I stayed until my number for the limited edition pins was called, bought them, then headed out. I was quite disappointed in the event as a whole and probably won't be going back to another, but I'm glad I did it, so I know what it's like.
I'm glad you did it, because I don't think I'm going to do one. I always said I want to do one if I'm there when they're on. I'm glad you did that.
I think if you approach that, like we did in Prague when we were warned that the service was going to be bad, it was funny. If you approach it thinking, right, they're going to think my pins are garbage, this is going to be a good laugh, then I think you'll enjoy it. Honestly, rather than going up there nervously and being like, is this good enough? I think just be prepared and it could be hilarious. It could be.
Totally piss on your chips.
Aaron's just, excuse me. Yeah, you just swore. You just swore.
Is that a swear? Is that a swear?
Well, think back to what you said. Look very carefully for the swear
Think about
word.
it, yeah.
It's only wee-wee.
Well,
that's not what you said, though, is it?
Hilda says swear. She just says swear.
She's correcting her above thing because she put.
She's still right though.
I thought Hilda was just like, you
sweated.
You got to read back.
Right, I sweat. DLP is so snotty about pin trading.
And then she corrected herself.
Way to ruin something fun. I swear, DLP is.
Well,
so
the timing there, Hilda, was impeccable.
Swear.
Aaron's just said in the chat that they want to say that it was they were all 100% legitimate pins from Shop Disney. It was just because it was a cheap one from a blind bag.
Yeah.
Those are the ones you want to get rid of, the ones from the blind bag.
But that's the whole point of it, isn't it?
Yeah.
The whole point of it is there's ones that you don't want, so you're going to get rid of them.
Yeah.
And they've got the good ones there, so you want to trade for them. And you are supposed to be trading up.
You don't
surely.
buy amazing limited edition pins to just go and trade them.
Can I give you this really good pin, Disney, for that one there that's not quite so good, please? That's how it should work.
Hilda says, I just love that I got a live shout out. Hashtag fangirl. And that's the best way to do it is through a misunderstanding. Yeah, but they should accept everything because eventually at some point, some idiot kid who's too little to know any better is going to want that Stormtrooper egg. So it's all fair game.
True, and it's part of a set. There was a whole load of Star Wars eggs.
I'm collecting eggs.
Someone needed that Stormtrooper egg.
Yeah.
I've lost my pay. Oh, there we go. After dropping off my stuff at the hotel and taking an hour or so to unwind, I headed to the main park and watched Dream and Shine Brighter again. This time I stood at the edge of the plaza where characters were walking past and gave tons of interaction and do a bit of shopping. I definitely bounced around the place more than I expected because my next stop was drinks with a couple of friends in Skyline Bar back at Hotel New York. Wow, you really are going backwards and forwards a lot. The staff there were lovely and happily made my mocktail, the Orange Fusion Reactor, without mango when I asked. And the theming was really impressive. I'll definitely be back there next time. I headed back to the main park after that and went on Hyperspace Mountain, Star Tours, and finally on to Pirates. So on this day, let me just work this out. You started off at Phantom Manor. Oh, you went from Sequoia to Phantom Manor. You then went over to the studios and went around Avengers Campus. Then you went back to Tower of Terror. Then you went to Pim Kitchen. Then you went back to the main park. Then you went from the main park back to Web of Adventure in the studios. Then you went to the pin trading event in Hotel New York. Then you went back into the park. Then you went back to Hotel New York. And now you're back in the park again.
I wish you'd had... we use Map My Run I do. When we go for runs to track your map. I want to see you doing that. I want to see the shape that you've made. I bet you've made a pentagram.
Web Adventures was the end of the first day.
All right, good. Phew.
We were concerned, Aaron.
Yeah, that seemed like a lot. I got to the plaza about an hour beforehand for the fireworks and was right at the front of the crowd, so no issues there.
Oh, Did you rope drop to fireworks that day? Did you? Kudos if you did. That's a good heavy day, that.
Second day was workshop and pin trading. Lol.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the workshop. Yeah, just throw that in as well. For EMT on the third day, I planned to head over to Big Thunder Mountain, which said it had a 15-minute queue as I walked through the entrance. After standing there for about 30 minutes, sadly I had to turn back as I had to be back at the village for 8:45, which was a shame. We had another workshop for most of the morning, then performances at 2 and 3. Once the performances were done, we stayed to chat with DPA for a while, then headed out to enjoy our last few hours in the park. I headed to the studios to watch Mickey and the Magician, which was absolutely incredible, then to Stark Factory to get some food before heading off. Stark Factory was very quiet when I went in, which is great. I had the Pomodoro pasta and the Thor dessert, and both were lovely. I really loved the theming in there and enjoyed walking around exploring before heading off to pick up my bags. I loved it. You didn't go into Stark?
No, I didn't go in.
To the Stark Factory, did you?
Next time.
It's great, and it was big and empty when I went in as well, and yeah, it's ace. Overall, this trip was absolutely incredible, and while there were a couple of snags, they were more than made up for by the incredible atmosphere, kindness of staff, and the magic they created for us every day. I've booked for November choir trip when we're in Let's Sing the Christmas to kick off the festive season, so I'm very much looking forward to that. It was great to see some of the Halloween decorations while we were there. I definitely need to go back in October at some point too. Here's one of the videos. Oh, right. So then just give me some videos as well, but I don't have any of that stuff here at the moment, and some photographs as well that they sent, which I haven't sorted out either. Thank you so much for the podcast. It's one of the highlights of my week and definitely helped me prepare for this trip and many more to come. I'll attach a couple of my favourite photos below too.
Well, they said they're going back in like 3 weeks or something.
November. Oh, I'm so jealous of all these people going to Disneyland Paris. But I'm really glad that we're getting these reports. It prompts discussions. And I'm glad you told us about the pin trading. Like, genuinely, it's a real bugbear of mine how different that is.
Chris holds up a picture of fireworks. Always good picture.
Oh.
It's gone very quiet now, hasn't it, while you wait?
It has. It is, by the way, end of the show time.
I know.
So,
wow. Well, maybe we'll have to save.
Yes, the next.
There we go. There's a very
bleached out Aaron.
Aaron and Pluto. Sorry about that.
Right. Well, I'm just going to rip off the Band-Aid, guys, because we could keep talking about these things forever. So I'm just going to say thank you very much for joining us.
Oh, and then I have to figure out how to end this now because I can't do the normal ending. I can play the music probably. Can I play the music? I don't know if I can play the music. Oh,
how about we
geez.
just
So
fade
much
out
pressure.
on Chris doing this?
No, where's the theme tune? There must be a theme tune.
Yeah.
What?
Fade to black.
Here we go.
You've been great. I've been Lucy. These have been the boys. Bye-bye.
Peace.